welcome back to Teacher Kenny's English for Everyone. We got something really new and a little bit different today, guys. We're going to do kind of it really won't be a survey, but it'll seem like one just for a minute. We're going to find out what kind of student of English that you are. The first thing I want you to do right now is stop the video and go get a piece of paper. You need a piece of paper and a pen, okay? So you do that, and then we'll begin. Once you get that piece of paper, I want you to start writing down A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to S. Alright, so get that. Then when I ask you these questions, you're going to put true or false beside them. So get your piece of paper ready. Like I said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Boom, and stop. And also, if you're new to this channel, guys, you better subscribe after today. I'm going to get you. Alright, now these are going to be true or false, and if you cannot decide, put both, if you have to. Alright, the first question, this will be A. And remember, the idea is here we're going to find out what kind of student you are. I often study English at home, in a library, on the train. True or false? I often study English at home, on the library, on the train. True or false? Next one. This will be B. I need English for my work, to pass an exam, or to get a good job. There's three choices. Just write true or false. I need English for my work, or to pass an exam, or to get a good job. Here's C. I began learning English because my parents felt it was necessary for the future. True or false? I began learning English because my parents felt it was necessary for the future. Alright, here's E. I love speaking English with other English learners of the same level. Remember, just write T or F, and you'll have to go back to this video to check your answers, but just listen. I love speaking English with other English learners of the same level. Okay, now here's F. I go to English conversation classes because I simply want to, not because I have to. True or false? I go to English conversation classes because I simply want to, not because I have to. Moving on to G. I think my teachers should force me to speak more in conversation class. I think my teachers should force me to speak more in conversation class. H. I would love to study overseas for a year, even if I had little money. I would love to study overseas for a year, even if I had little money. Here's the next one. This is I. If I don't speak in conversation class, it is because the topic or task is bad. True or false? If I don't speak in conversation class, it is because the topic or task is bad. J. I watch English language TV and films in English even though I understand nothing. Alright, this is true or false. Now listen really careful. I watch English language TV and films in English even though I understand nothing. True or false? Here's K. I hate it when one person does all the talking in conversation class. I hate it when one person does all the talking in conversation class. True or false? L. Quite often, I am happy just to listen to the teacher. Like me. Quite often, I am happy just to listen to the teacher. Here's M. I often feel a little stupid when I talk in conversation class. I often feel a little stupid when I talk in conversation class. True or false? N. I think the teacher is what motivates a student the most. I think the teacher is what motivates the student the most. Alright, we'll move on to O. I prefer learning grammar, vocabulary, etc. to speaking English. Now listen careful. I prefer learning grammar, vocabulary, etc. to speaking the English. True or false? Here's P. I wish I could go to conversation class every day instead of just twice a week. I wish I could go to conversation class every day instead of just twice a week. All right, here's Q. Basically, I think conversation class should be for practicing the grammar you have just learned. All right, true or false? Now listen careful, I'll say it again. Basically, I think a conversation class should be for practicing the grammar that we just learned. Got two more. R. I regularly ask the students questions and comment on what they say in conversation class. Let me say this again. I can't talk today. I regularly ask the other students questions and comment on what they say in conversation class. True or false? And the last one is, I am a woman. Are you? True or false? Okay. Now you got the answers, and we're going to go through what this interpretation is, all right? Let me get a little drink of water. Or sweet tea today. If you answered true to A, E, F, H, J, P, or R, this is the interpretation that this book has. This basically indicates a self-motivated, hard-working learner. It also indicates desire to socialize, to meet other races and cultures. This is what language is for. The perfect student, a talker and a worker. So if you had any of those true, maybe you are the perfect student. Alright. Let me get this here. If you answered B, D, G, I, K, or N, if you answered any of those true, here is the interpretation. There is a strong sense of being obliged to learn, which is not self-motivation. It's not a crime, but the learner must want to achieve for himself or herself. Also, this type of learner blames his performance on others or external factors. May not be the ideal ingredient for a good communicator or worker. Now, you'll have to listen to that maybe a couple times to catch that, but that's BDGIKN if you answered true. This is going to tell on you a little bit, guys. Alright, if you answered C or O as true, here's the interpretation. This can mean that you are a perfectionist. You may pay attention to formal detail. It can be good, but it can also be an obstacle to communication. An anxious talker. If you answered G, I, K, L, or N true, the interpretation, this implies a degree of passiveness. If you want to talk, don't think about it, act. This learner also can lack self-motivation, a sporadic talker. You want to do better than that. But this is an exercise that I have in my textbook. Alright. If you answered M true, it happens to everybody at the beginning, but you must get over this after a few classes, and you will. That's for M. Q. If you answered true to Q, here's the interpretation. This is a big issue, but how can you talk about the world with a few set phrases? You may be a traditional learner expecting a traditional class. Remember, the ultimate aim of English is to communicate. So Q, I would advise you to change. Alright. And the last one here, S. If you answered true to S, that means you're a woman. And as I said, that women work harder at languages too. They also miss less classes than men. Alright. So there's your survey. And like I said, you may have to go back and forth and look and try to learn from what I just said. And what I would do is maybe turn on the captions down below, because this is a YouTube video. They'll have captions, and go over this many times. Find out what kind of student, what kind of learner of English are you really. All right? So you go out, watch and listen to this, and you have a great day, okay? And we'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.